Akwugo was a very young man who lived in a small village in Africa. He was very curious and loved to hear stories about magic and adventure. One day, Akwugo's grandfather, a wise and kind man named Ogbuefi, called him to his side. Akwugo, my boy, he said, I have a special story to tell you today. It's a story about a magical temple deep in the forest where a powerful python lives. Akwugo's eyes widened with excitement. A python? He repeated. What kind of python? Ogbuefi smiled. This python is no ordinary snake, he said. It has 3 heads and is said to have the power to grant wishes. Akwugo's heart skipped a beat. He had always dreamed of having magical powers, and now he was hearing about a python that could make his dreams come true. But be warned, Akwugo, Ogbuefi said, his voice serious. The python is not to be trifled with. It's said to be very cunning, and it will only grant wishes to those who are pure of heart. The old man told him the story of the python, and Akwugo nodded eagerly. He was determined to find the python and make his wishes. The next morning, Akwugo set off on his journey to find the magical temple. He packed a bag with food and water, and he said goodbye to his family and friends. As he walked through the forest, the trees grew taller, and the path grew narrower. He heard strange noises all around him, the chirping of birds, the rustling of leaves, and the distant roar of a waterfall. Suddenly, he heard a faint whisper in his ears. Welcome, Akwugo, the voice said. I've been waiting for you. Akwugo spun around, but he saw no one. Who are you? He called out. There was no answer, but the whispering grew louder. Follow the path, Akwugo, the voice said. It will lead you to the temple. Akwugo's heart was racing. He wanted to go back, but hardened up and moved on. He followed the path, his senses on high alert. As he walked, the trees grew closer together, and the air grew thick with an airy green mist. Akwugo could feel the magic in the air, and he knew he was getting close to the temple. But as he was about to reach the temple, Akwugo heard a loud rumbling noise. The ground began to shake, and the trees started to tremble. Akwugo stumbled and fell, and as he looked up, he saw a massive stone door sliding open. The door creaked and groaned, and he felt a blast of cold air hit him. He struggled to his feet, his heart beating heavily in his chest. As he stepped through the doorway, he found himself in a vast, dimly lit chamber. The room was filled with strange and wondrous objects, glittering jewels, ancient artifacts, and mysterious scrolls. His eyes widened as he explored the room, marveling at the treasures that surrounded him. But as he reached the far end of the room, he saw something that made his blood run cold. It was the 3-headed python, his eyes glowing like embers in the dark. Akwugo froze, his heart racing in his chest. He had never seen anything so terrifying in his life. And then, in a voice that echoed in his mind, the python spoke. Welcome, Akwugo, it said. I've been waiting for you. Are you ready to make your wishes? Akwugo swallowed hard, his mind racing with excitement and fear. What would he wish for? Will the python grant his wishes, or will it twist them in some unexpected ways? He took a deep breath and tried to calm his racing heart. He thought about all the things he could wish for: wealth, power, fame. But then he remembered his grandfather's words. The python will only grant wishes to those who are pure of heart. He thought about what would truly make him happy, and then he spoke. I wish for the power to heal any sickness or injury, he said. I want to be able to help my family and friends and make the world a better place. The python regarded him for a moment, his three heads nodding in unison. Your wish is granted, Akwugo, it said. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use your gift wisely. As the python spoke, he felt a strange sensation coursing through his body. He looked down at his hands and saw that they were glowing with a soft white light. Suddenly, he heard a faint cry for help. He turned to see a young girl, no more than 10 years old, stumbling towards him. She was bleeding from a deep wound on her forehead, and her eyes were unfocused. He rushed to her side and took her hand. He focused all his energy on healing her wound, and as he did, the white light from his hands grew brighter. Slowly but surely, the girl's wound began to close. His eyes cleared, and she looked up at Akwugo with a smile. "Thank you," she said, her voice weak but grateful. He smiled back at her, feeling a sense of pride and purpose. He realized that his wish had been granted and that he now had the power to make a real difference in the world. But as he stood up to help the girl to her feet, Akwugo heard the python's voice once more. "Remember, Akwugo, you have 2 more wishes left," it said. "Use them wisely, for consequences of your desires may be more than you can handle." Akwugo's heart skipped a beat as he thought about the python's words. What will he wish for next? Will he choose wealth and power or something more selfless and noble? Akwugo thought long and hard about his next wish. He could wish for wealth and power, but he knew that will not bring him true happiness. He could wish for fame and recognition, but that will not fulfill his desire to make a positive impact on the world. As he stood there pondering his next move, the girl he had just healed approached him. "Akwugo, I have an idea," she said. "Why don't you wish for the power to bring peace and prosperity to our village? We have been suffering for so long, and it will be a blessing to have a chance to live in harmony and abundance." His eyes lit up with excitement. That was exactly the kind of fish he had been thinking of making. "That's a wonderful idea," he said. "I will wish for the power to bring peace and prosperity to our village." The python nodded its 3 heads in approval. "Your wish is granted, Akwugo," it said. "But remember, peace and prosperity are not just physical states, but also spiritual ones. You must cultivate inner peace and harmony within yourself and your community in order to truly experience the blessings of your wish." As the python spoke, Akwugo felt a surge of energy flow through him again. He looked around and saw that the village was transforming before his eyes. The houses were being repaired, the crops were growing strong and healthy, and the people were smiling and laughing. Akwugo's heart swelled with joy and gratitude. He knew that his wish had been granted and that his village was on the path to peace and prosperity. But as he looked around, he also saw that there was still much work to be done. There were still many challenges to overcome and many obstacles to overcome. Akwugo knew that he had 1 more wish left, and he was determined to use it to overcome the remaining challenges and ensure a bright future for his village. But what would he wish for? Would he wish for the power to overcome all obstacles, or would he wish for something more specific? Akwugo thought long and hard about his final wish. He knew that he had to make it count, as it would be his last chance to make a difference, a real one, in the world. As he stood there pondering his next move, he heard a faint whisper in his ear. It was the voice of the python, speaking to him in a soft, gentle tone. "Akwugo, remember that the true power comes not from external sources, but from within," the python said. "Your heart is pure and your intentions are good. Trust in yourself and you will find that you have the power to overcome any obstacle." His eyes widened as he listened to the python's words. He realized that he had been looking outside of himself for the answers, when the truth was that he had the power within him all along. With newfound confidence and determination, Akwugo made his final wish. I wish for the wisdom and courage to trust in myself and my abilities. He said, I want to be able to overcome any obstacles, not through external power, but through my own inner strength and resilience. The python nodded his head, his three heads in approval. Your wish is granted, Akwugo, he said. Remember, true powers from within you it comes. Trust in yourself and you will find that you can overcome anything. As the python spoke, Akwugo felt a surge of energy flow through him. He felt his heart filled with confidence and determination, and he knew that he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. And with that, Akwugo's journey came full circle. He had started out as a young man seeking external power and validation, but through his experiences and the wisdom of the python, he had discovered that true power comes from within. Akwugo returned to his village, where he was greeted as a hero, but he knew that the true hero was not him, but the wisdom and courage that lay within him. And so, Akwugo lived out the rest of his days, using his inner strength and resilience to overcome any obstacle that came his way. He became a wise and respected leader, known for his courage and determination. And the python, well, it remained in the temple, waiting for the next person to come along and seek its wisdom. For in the end, the python knew that true power comes not from external sources, but from within. The end. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.